Should we talk about the party night?
The party night. Yeah, we should.
Um, I mean, it's to this whole point of for the story and like going way overboard, like lawsuit overboard. I'm shocked that's never happened, or at least it didn't appear that that happened. But one of the girls, like they invited all these guys over that they like just went on some sort of a day excursion with, and they were drinking. They were all drinking together. Cameras were rolling. They were in the hot tub together. This girl started making out with one of the guys who was there. She was at this point blackout drunk. She had a boyfriend at home, and they ended up getting in the shower together. Cameras followed into the shower together, or into the bathroom, like recording this whole thing, and then into the bed together, where again, she's blackout drunk, and cameras are rolling, filming essentially non consensual sex. And she wakes up the next day realizing what happened and having very little memory of what happened, but also being aware, like, oh my gosh, the cameras got all of this. And instead of the producers and the crew being like, oh, this is like way overboard, like, this is actually a really big deal, we can't show this, like, we need to actually address this, this is a big issue, they were like, ooh, this is a good storyline. Let's make her call her boyfriend and we're going to film the whole thing. And she's going to have to tell him that she cheated on him. And so they record that whole thing. And she watching that, I think the call was almost harder to watch because it was like so visceral. And she's like literally on the ground in the fetal position. I almost want to cry talking about it. It was like so hard to watch. And the camera guys who were told that they have to record it went up to her afterwards and were like, we're so sorry that we had to record this. The producers told us like we did not have an option. And
Yeah.
that's their job, right? Like this is how they're making an income for their families or whatever. And how sick that they felt about the whole thing. And the conversation that Tyra had with her, like the big sis conversation of like, oh yeah, I've been cheated on, and tried to like have that, you know, big sister talk, and framed it as sometimes we just need to like, what did she say?
She
Like
said
our
like
desires, like
you gotta like control that like primal desire.
as if she was the one who was like pursuing this guy and it was all consensual.
And like from the Jays and Nigel learning that there was so much that didn't make the cut that made it look way fucking worse.
Yeah.
So like what we were shown on TV, right, was this scene.
Mm-hmm.
But what like all unfolded was like a lot more where it's like, hey, I don't think she's okay. She's like in the hot, drinking in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Hasn't eaten for days.
Yep.
She is, she weighed out like 100.
She was so small.
She was so tiny. And she even said that. She was like, I was so thin.
Yeah.
And she's like, we didn't eat a lot because like we didn't want to be bloated for photo shoots.
Yeah.
So literally starving herself.
Yeah.
And getting in a hot tub while drinking, like we all know that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. And
then this man, like in no world can I imagine on a reality TV show like that something like America's Next Top Model, right? Or insert show here aside from like what Love Island or Too Hot to Handle or like some of these like dating shows where it's essentially for the scandalism of that. But actually some of those shows have like even limited alcohol consumption and things like that due to lawsuits and things that have taken place. Because it's crazy to let people get drunk and then not at all intervene and say, and to film every intimate moment. Like that's heartbreaking.
It was interesting to see the take of like the Jays and Nigel of like, yeah, when we became aware of that and watched what had been recorded, it was like, whoa, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, we can't show this. And then to listen to Tyra and Ken, the producer, not apologize, not recognize that anything was wrong, but to say, you have no idea how much we cut out of that.
No,
that's to defend what they did.
Yeah, and what they did publish. And I think you also brought up a really great point about how the whole framing of the thing was framing her as
she pursued him.
the bad
She was
guy.
out of control.
You cheated on your boyfriend. Like,
Yeah.
it was almost like it was all her fault, you know?
Also sick. Tyra had her own show at some point, like talk show.
Oh
And
my
she
God.
had this girl on and was like, do you remember when? And mind you, this girl, I think her name was Shandy, never watched the scene. It was so incredibly traumatizing for her. Even still, when she was being interviewed as an adult now today, you could tell it was a very impactful experience for her, of course. And on the talk show, she shares with Tyra, I've never watched it. I can't watch it. I do not want to watch it. And what does Tyra do? She plays the whole scene in front of the talk show. Shandy looks down, doesn't watch it. And Tyra's like, I noticed you put your head down. How come you couldn't watch that?
Diabolical.
That's sick.
No, it's diabolical. It's actually insane. And this was that watching that actually was, and that was like early on in the fucking cycles. Yes. This show went on for 20 more cycles. Like that line just kept moving back. Like it was really heartbreaking to watch that. And also, like, as a young girl, it is so crazy how, you know, a lot of the time what can happen with non-consensual sex or assault like that of any form, in the moment, you don't even always register what has happened or what's happening. Yeah. It's like years of processing or just any time at all to get to be like, wait, so like I was blackout drunk and then this happened and then like, okay. And then like having to reckon with like, okay, that was traumatizing, like whatever, right? This girl had to do this
while the world was watching.
And also not with anybody going and saying like, do you need a therapist? Like, what can we do to support you in this time? Because you're stuck here. Yeah. No. And she said, oh, this broke my heart after the fact multiple times when being criticized, like, you know, by the judges or whatever, like after challenges, just saying like, I just want to go home. I really just want to go home. Yeah. And then being like almost like not letting her, like, wouldn't let her call her mom, wouldn't let her call her boyfriend at home to like just be like, this thing happened.
Unless it was on camera.
And when it was on camera, it was all from the guys of like, you need to tell him you cheated on him. I felt like that part was really, really disgusting because she didn't even get to have the authentic conversation of like, this is what happened.
We're avoiding the R word here for reasons, but that's what it is.
That's what this is. This is the R word. And she did not even get the opportunity to digest that. She literally was told, you cheated on him. And
then she shared after the fact when she eventually got eliminated, went home. They tried, it kind of sounded like for a few years to like work on the relationship. But she said after that aired, she would just they'd be walking on the streets together and people would recognize her from the show and just call her a slut and just all sorts of things where it was really hard for both of them to like move through that and tune that out. And I can't even imagine. And that's because of how it was framed on the show.
100%.